Yeah, guys, I'm in the recording room again instead of in my ordinary room. There wasn't quite as much of a glare as there was last time. There was still a bit of a glare, and I just said, better err on the side of caution. Anyway, TLC Table Sliders and Chairs 2016, which is now a Smackdown exclusive pay-per-view, and they've gone back to calling them pay-per-views. Quick thing, some of my notes did not get very good in some of these matches, unfortunately. There was something we'll discover. I'll explain when we get there. Anyway, starting things off, we had a match that was not announced again until the kickoff show, which is the kickoff show match. A 10-man tag, American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and Apollo Crews versus the Vaudevillains, the Ascension, and Curt Hawkins. Like I said, it was not advertised. They didn't announce it until the kickoff show. I know that probably doesn't seem like much that I'm complaining about the kickoff show match, but I like having things known ahead of time, like having things prepared, and when I can't do that and I have to take a picture of the title card with my phone, yeah, it kind of irks me a little bit. Anyway, starting things off, Apollo Crews and Curt Hawkins were the first two in. Crews hit a big drop kick and then immediately tagged in Zack Ryder. The crowd immediately began chanting for the Edgeheads reunion that it was. For those who maybe don't remember, the Edgeheads were Edge's proteges, Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins. I can't remember when they broke up. It was around 2009. They were part of the big Edge, Vicky Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero faction. Anyway, eventually the other tag teams get in. American Alpha did a double team move on Aiden English. The teams then began to brawl. There was a thing where everyone started throwing each other out of the ring, and then at one other point the faces all threw the heels out of the ring. Things began to settle back down, and Hawkins and Victor double-teamed Gable, then the Ascension double-teamed Chad Gable, then Victor had a pop-up super kick on Chad Gable for a 2 count. Jordan broke up the pin. Crews then suplexed Curt Hawkins off of the ring apron and onto all the other competitors. American Alpha got in the ring and hit the Grand Amplitude on Simon Gotch for the 3 count. Good guys win. This was an alright match, not spectacular, but pretty nondescript. Yeah, you're going to be hearing some background noise here, sorry. Anyway, our second match is the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match. Beauty and the Man Beast, aka Heath Slater and Rhino, against the Wyatt family of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. The funny thing is, I don't know if they've been doing this on SmackDown a lot. I haven't seen too much of it on SmackDown, but when the Wyatt family entered, they actually started playing Randy Orton's Burning in My Light theme. They then switched to the Voices in My Head theme from Orton, and then they went right into the Wyatt theme. It was kind of unique. Anyway, Rhino and Bray Wyatt started things off. Slater and Rhino hit a double team move on Orton. Slater was actually beginning to fight on Orton a little bit until Luke Harper chop blocked Slater when he was standing on the ring apron. Orton countered a Slater slingshot attempt into a power slam. Eventually Rhino got the hot tag. He clotheslined Bray Wyatt. At this point, Rhino went for a gore, but Orton pushed Wyatt out of the way. They got to the outside of the ring. Rhino tried to gore Orton. Orton dodged and sent Luke Harper into Rhino for the gore. They got into the ring. Orton blind tagged Wyatt, and Wyatt was doing his spider walk, which distracted Rhino just long enough for Randy to hit the RKO out of nowhere for the 3 count and the victory. Your new tag team champions, the Wyatt family of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Okay, our next match of the night is the no disqualification match between Nikki Bella and Carmella. I noticed right away, Nikki ditched the hat from her intro. She had some new gear as well. Carmella immediately started off by rolling out of the ring. The two fought on the outside. Carmella hit a head scissors, which sent Nikki running right into the ring steps. Nikki began selling a knee injury at that point. Carmella put Nikki in the tree of woe and then grabbed a kendo stick out from under the ring. They fought with the kendo stick a little bit. Carmella locked on the cone of silence, but Nikki managed to grab the kendo stick and hit Carmella back, got her to break the hold. Nikki kicked Carmella into the ring barricade. Nikki then hit a shining wizard from the ring barricade. Nikki grabbed a fire extinguisher and spraying Carmella and spraying Carmella and spraying Carmella. She basically emptied the whole thing. Not too long after that, Nikki hit the Rack Attack 2.0 for the 3 count and the win. And then after the match, Carmella pointed out that she wasn't the one who attacked Nikki before Survivor Series. Obviously, it had to be Natalya. And then, yeah. Later, Natalya came out and denied it, just so you clear everything up there. Yeah, this was a pretty boring match. There's not too much to say about that. Didn't quite surmise the tag team match very well. It's nice to see the Wyatt family finally getting a belt of some kind. I don't know how long they're going to have it. I know they're going to feud with American Alpha coming up here, but I don't know if that's going to go all the way to Mania or whenever. But it's nice to see it, but the match itself was, again, pretty ho-hum. Okay, our next matchup is the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Right off the bat, Miz dodged a Ziggler super kick, went for a skull-crushing finale. Ziggler countered out of that. Eventually, they started brawling outside the ring. Miz drop-kicked Ziggler as he was starting to go for a ladder that was under the ring. Miz grabbed the ladder and rammed Ziggler with it. Ziggler then fought back and began rubbing the Miz's face against the foot of the ladder. Let's see. Miz drop-kicked the ladder into Ziggler again. All of this is happening on the outside of the ring, by the way. Ziggler uses the ladder to pull Miz into the ring post. Ziggler hit a tornado DDT onto the ladder, again, still outside the ring. Finally, a ladder gets into the ring. Ziggler countered a superplex and says flying off the ladder and then hits an elbow drop from the ladder. Ziggler twice tried to climb the ladder, but Miz managed to pull him off. Miz drop-kicked the ladder into Ziggler a few times, and then Ziggler threw the ladder back at Miz during the third attempt. Excuse me. The two then began climbing the ladder and were fighting on the ladder, and this is where things get weird. My notes start getting a little scattershot. I discovered there was a mouse in my window well. It was just stuck there. I think I can maybe show you some video footage of that right now. Like I said, it was stuck in there. It wasn't getting out, so I had to go outside. I got a broom and a shovel and managed to scoop it out, tossed it away, it ran off. Anyway, my attention was a little divided, so I did not see too much of what happened next. I could just tell a little bit of it. Let's see. Miz drop-kicked the ladder. Miz wrapped Ziggler's knee around the ladder and then used it for a figure 4 leg lock. Miz then climbed the ladder and started to grab for the belt, but Ziggler hits Miz with another ladder. Miz powerbombed Ziggler onto another ladder. Miz hit a skull-crushing finale into the ladder. Miz set up 2 ladders, both men were climbing. Eventually, Miz managed to knock Ziggler from the ladder and grab the IC belt, the Intercontinental Championship belt, and Miz retains. Admittedly, this match was pretty good. It had some great spots. A lot of outside the ring action. I kind of like it every once in a while they would fight back into the ring. And again, like the mouse thing distracted me, so like I said, my attention was divided a little bit, and that doesn't help. Like I said, it was a pretty good match, though, so I'll at least put it into the pretty good category. Up next is the chairs match between Baron Corbin and Kalisto. Funny thing is, Kalisto comes out for his entrance. He goes to the ring. He immediately starts looking under the ring for chairs, not realizing that all the chairs have been set up around the ring at that point. He then starts grabbing them and throwing them into the ring. Right off the bat, Kalisto went for a quick mandaminator. Corbin managed to dodge it. Corbin tossed Kalisto into a group of chairs on the outside of the ring. Corbin hit a sidewalk slam for a 2 count. Kalisto hit a drop toe hold into a chair. Kalisto then hit a flying senton onto a chair for a 2 count. Corbin countered a suicide dive into a deep 6 on the outside of the ring. At this point, Corbin began stacking up a pile of chairs. Kalisto went for a moonsault onto a chair. Eventually they started fighting again. Kalisto went for another move. Corbin grabbed the chair and tossed it into him as Kalisto jumped up. Corbin then hit the end of days on the pile of chairs for the 3 count and the victory. A surprisingly good match. The chairs matches usually tend to be pretty disappointing. I think this time they were able to work the chairs into it pretty well. Kalisto, being the high flyer that he is, I think added a good element to it. Other than that, like I said, surprisingly good, better than it had any right to be. I like the fact that Corbin won. Corbin's a guy I think can easily be one of the top heels on SmackDown. I don't know why they don't push him more. Hopefully this will actually begin to do things for him. Anyway, our next match is the tables match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. Now, I kind of have a qualm with the singles tables match, if you catch my drift. I think tables match should really just be a tag team match. Whenever you get the single competitors, it just sets things up for someone slips and goes through the table and the match is over and then you have to explain things. Probably the most noteworthy one, I believe, was it 2009 or 2010 where Sheamus and Cena were fighting for the belt. It was 2009. Sheamus and Cena were fighting over the belt, and like Cena was going for a move and it looked like Sheamus just nonchalantly pushed him and Cena fell through the table and the match ended. Like I said, it was probably scripted to happen or plotted to happen in that manner, but it just looked so weird. It just, like, Cena was goofing off. In fact, pretty much the entire storyline after that was Sheamus desperately trying to prove that his victory was not a fluke. And yeah, again, I don't like championships being decided on what could possibly appear to be a fluke. On the bright spot, though, this was maybe the exception to this. Started things off. Becky started to pull a table off from under the ring, but then Alexa Bliss came out, fought Becky off a bit, and then pushed the table back under for some reason. Becky hit a reverse electric chair and then followed it up with a snap suplex. Eventually Lynch got a table out and the two began dueling on the ring apron. Becky slides the table into the ring and Alexa Bliss slid the table into the ring and set Lynch up on the table. Becky rolled off the table and went for a superplex. Bliss countered that, but the table was knocked over. It did not go through. Bliss then set the table up in the corner. Bliss hit a DDT on the table, but it did not break. It was on the ground. Lynch then set the table up in a corner, kind of like between the second and bottom rope in the corner, went for a move, but before she could hit it, Bliss rolled out of the way. They began fighting again. Becky sent Bliss into a table again. Becky sent Alexa into another table, but again, this did not break. At this point, the two began fighting on the ring apron. Becky went for a kick. Alexa dodged, countered that into a powerbomb, sent Becky Lynch through the table. Your new SmackDown Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss. Again, surprisingly strong match for this case. Really surprising. Not surprising they gave Alexa the title. I think Alexa Bliss has had a lot of momentum coming on her. Becky as champion was kind of ho-hum. It just seemed like they didn't really book her to be a convincing champion. I mean, heck, if you looked at the Survivor Series women's Survivor Series match poster, Nikki Bella is more prominent than Becky Lynch, who's supposed to be the champion. Anyway, like I said, I think now with Alexa being it and Becky pursuing the title, it's going to be way more interesting. Don't know how long they're going to continue that feud, but they've had good chemistry together. Like I said, Alexa Bliss is a strong heel. She's been a strong heel ever since she was managing Blake and Murphy in NXT. It's nice to see what they can do with this. Yeah, I know there's running water going on right now, and we're just going to have to deal with it. On the bright spot, we only have one more match left, and it's the World Heavyweight Championship Tables, Ladders, and Chair match. AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose. Ambrose got some boos as he came down to the ring. Both men really got a mixed reaction. I would say AJ had more cheers than boos. Ambrose definitely had more boos than cheers. Right off the bat, Ambrose tried to slide the ladder into the ring, but AJ smacked it with a chair back into Ambrose's face. The two began fighting up the entrance ramp. Ambrose slammed AJ face first into a chair. Ambrose hit an atomic drop on the ring barricade. Ambrose then charged at AJ with a chair. Ambrose then catapulted Styles into a ladder and then out of the ring. AJ hit a sidewalk slam on a chair. Ambrose hit a suplex. It basically looked like he started to go up for a suplex and then changed it into a power bomb. And there were a series of chairs stacked up, kind of like 3 across and 2 wide, and that's where AJ landed right on top like that. It was a nasty move. AJ suplexed Ambrose through a table. Ambrose did a suicide dive, knocking AJ onto the announce table. At this point, I noticed that AJ Styles had a very prominent rip on the right side of his tights. He wasn't exposing his full rear, but we got a pretty nice view of it. Anyway, Ambrose then set a ladder up on the Spanish announce table and did a big flying elbow drop onto AJ, who was still on the regular announce table. Ambrose climbed the ladder, but Styles got up and hit a phenomenal forearm to knock him off. Ambrose then airplane spinned AJ into a ladder. AJ hit a moonsault into a death drop on the outside of the ring. Ambrose then hit a springboard 450 suicide splash through a table. Styles then got into the ring and started climbing the ladder, and that's when James Ellsworth came out. And again, you can tell, I think the crowd is getting sick of the James Ellsworth stuff, because it was just, they were high for it, high for it, high for it. He came out, it just started to go down, 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 down. Anyway, Styles comes out to confront Ellsworth. They begin fighting. They don't really fight so much. AJ prepares to do the Styles Clash on the ring steps again. Ambrose hops up, grabs AJ, hits the Dirty Deeds on the ring steps. Ambrose goes into the ring, starts climbing the ladder. He gets almost to the top, but then Styles gets in and starts climbing the ladder. The two begin fighting. AJ gets knocked off through the ropes to the outside of the ring. Ambrose is just inches away from grabbing the belt. He starts reaching for it, and suddenly James Ellsworth gets in the ring and shoves the ladder before Ambrose can reach the belt. Ambrose crashes through some tables that have been set up on the outside of the ring earlier. Everyone, they're not so much in shock. I think everyone kind of guessed that at some point James Ellsworth was either going to cost Ambrose the title by turning heel, or by just an accident, and then Ambrose would maybe turn on him. Instead, Ambrose was sent crashing through the table. Styles gets back in the ring, climbs the ladder, grabs the belt, starts celebrating in the ring. Ellsworth doesn't celebrate with Styles, but basically points at cheers and jumps up and down. Starts going up the entrance ramp. Like I said, I think it was known that Ellsworth was going to interfere in the match somehow and cost Ambrose. It was done pretty well. Like I said, it was telegraphed. You kind of knew something was going to happen. I did like the fact that Ambrose was basically out the whole time. He didn't get up and start storming off after Ellsworth. Ellsworth didn't run away. Also, on Kudos, just before they went off the air, JBL called Ellsworth a varmint. Yeah. Always good. We need more varmint references in wrestling. And yeah, like I said, that's how the show ended. Thankfully, I think that when Ellsworth started to come out, and like I said, the crowd started to turn on the match. They weren't liking it, and I think by the end of it, they were cheering again. Crowd, everyone's kind of tired of the James Ellsworth thing. It was funny at first. It's been a dead horse for a few weeks now. Thankfully, I don't know if turning him into the new Brad Maddox is the way to do things, but at least, hey, you know, we could stop him being the underdog guy anymore. Anyway, overall thoughts on the show. Like I said, yeah, I know I complained about that opening the kickoff show match thing not being announced, but like I said, that's my own personal beef on that. The last three matches were the strongest part: the tables match, the chairs match, and the tables, ladders, and chair match. The ladder match was alright. Again, I was kind of distracted, so maybe my view on that was not as good as it should have been, but overall, I am going to give this show a B. Unfortunately, like I said, I just hate to say the non-gimmick matches, but the non-tables, ladders, and chair-related matches were, yeah, pretty ho-hum and pedestrian. And, yeah, like I said, it didn't quite drag the show down. Well, it did. It knocked a few points off, but it didn't completely ruin the show. It's just they were pretty ho-hum. Yeah. Okay, well, sorry again, all this noise is throwing everything off here. Anyway, next week will be the Star Trek Assignment Earth Random Trade Review. The week after that is Roadblock, or they're calling it Roadblock End of the Line to differentiate it from the previous Roadblock we had earlier this year. See you all then.